Okay, everybody, welcome to the regular city council meeting of the Cross Lake, Monday, October 14th. It is 7 p.m. Let's stand for the pledge. Well, before we get started, I've got one little special announcement, and I'd like to wish Marcia Bowles a special happy birthday today.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Marcia. Happy birthday to you.
I just feel honored that she is spending the evening with us.
I have to thank you all, and at least 20 years before my retirement, I never worked on my birthday. And my daughters today, when they called me and they said, "What are you doing tonight?" I said, "I'm going to council meeting." Mother.
Anyway, happy birthday, Marcia. First on the agenda, approval of additions. We've got and I'd like somebody to answer this for me, an application to conduct excluded bingo from the Knights of Columbus. Does anybody know what excluded bingo is?
Excluded.
Nor do I. Next is updated special council budget workshop meeting minutes of September 25th. Bills for approval. Award bid for the roof repairs. Set date for a special meeting to discuss, review, and approve short-term rental ordinance. Discuss request from Sandra Payne to lower assessment. So I need a motion for approval of those.
Can I just add an addition?
Sure.
I would like us to consider lifting the moratorium on storage sheds. We haven't done that yet. I don't know if maybe I'm missing something, but would like to discuss it.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Could we discuss that under the setting a date to discuss the short-term rental? Because I think
Or
along
under
with
planning
that
and
motion, there's a
zoning,
couple other things we should discuss too.
Okay. Okay, we'll pick that up later. Next is public forum. Action may or may not be taken on any issue raised if council.
Dave, I need a motion to approve the additions.
Well, there was a motion, a second, we need to vote.
Oh, okay. All in
So,
favor?
Aye.
Jack,
Aye.
okay.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public forum. Action may or may not be taken on any issue raised. If council requires more information or time for consideration, the issue will be placed on the next agenda, or the next regular meeting. Speaker must state their name and address. Does anybody have anything? Nobody's moving. Next, the consent calendar. All items listed are considered to be routine by the city council and will be acted on by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a citizen or council member so requests. Does anybody have anything?
I just have a question. Are we caught up on minutes now? Because we're still back in February. Okay, thank you.
Okay, we need a motion to
Move
approve.
pay consent bills as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Mayor and council members report. First up, Alden, is this you?
Yes, it is.
We have got a recognition awards for the park maintenance. Well overdue.
David's saying that PAL has been in existence over 15 years, and this is the first time we've done something like this, acknowledging it. And as Dave said, it's well overdue. The PAL Foundation wants to acknowledge the outstanding service to the community by Josh and Sean. The parklands and facilities is an outstanding condition all the time you go by. Trimmed lawns, cut around the trees.
Don't forget the smiles on the faces, Alden.
The sidewalks are clean, the parking lot always looks nice, the building is in good shape, so it's always very fine. And this is brought home because when I take visitors on the rides, Many of them remark, even back trails, how nice this park is. Now, we had a couple here from Chicago that ran the Chicago park system, and they remarked what a wonderful system we have here and how nice it looks, and it's due to you guys. The good condition is the result of the pride these two have in their job. It's something all of us should have, and these have it and exhibit it to us. And so if something has to be done before the end of the day, it gets done. In the past two projects, our playground and the Overlook Park, both of them used their talents and did a lot of the work, especially on the Overlook Park. So most of that was done in-house, saving us money and making the donation money go further. They have special skills, including concrete work. So a lot of the concrete bases we have for example, the shelters and things like this are all done and done well. Again, not having to go outside. We're about to install new signs, and there was an installation cost that we don't have to do because these guys can do it, and they'll do it well. We all know when we look at it, it'll be done well. The two have made our community center better because of their efforts and because they care. And so we in PAL appreciate it, and I know the community appreciates it. And TJ will take it next.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You guys can turn around and play.
David, do you want to?
Huh?
Oh, all them little patches. Okay, one more, Chuck.
Might be my last chance.
One more. Okay, a couple more seconds, guys. I'll just like to say one thing. These two make my job easier. Their true dedication, every single day they come into work, they treat the equipment as if it were their own. They go out on the turf grass and they treat it as if it was their own backyard. So pretty fortunate to have these guys. Thank you for all your work. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Well done, Alden and TJ. We need to see that a little more often, I think, huh? Okay, next is a resolution accepting donations. We have got donations from Susan and Gary Phillips for $100 towards the fire department. An anonymous donation of $40 for cart tours at the park. PAL Foundation, $387.61 for bike racks. PAL Foundation, $695 for Pine River Park Bench. Cross Lake Firefighters Relief Association, $1,507.63 for a tilting hose turntable. Cross Lake Firefighters Relief Association, $402 for pig roast trash removal. And Cross Lake Firefighters Relief Association, $2,699.40 for chainsaws. Okay, we need a motion to accept those donations.
I'll make a motion, we accept those donations as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, I guess I got to read this one, Ashar. An ordinance amending chapter of the city code regarding procedures for approving ordinances. City Council of the City of Cross Lake does ordain as follows. Section 1, Amendment, Chapter 1, Section 1 through 15. Amendments to Code of the City Code is amended to read as follows. No ordinance except an emergency ordinance shall be adopted at the meeting at which it is introduced, and at least 10 days shall elapse between its introduction and its final adoption. Section 2, Effective Date. This ordinance amended shall be in full force and effect from the after passage and publication according to state law.
I'll make a motion that we adopt the ordinance amending Chapter 1 of the City Code regarding procedures for approving ordinances.
I'll second that.
A little conversation, what prompted this? Anything?
Me?
You? Just a technicality?
Well, I just think that instead of putting ordinances down in front of us and then adopting them without the citizens knowing about it and at least having an input, that generally you give citizens an opportunity, so you have a first reading, and then you have a second reading and adoption. Typically, that's the way it goes.
Yeah, that's good. I just hadn't seen it before. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries all in favor. Oh, and then I guess the council is gonna get a raise, folks. Should I read this whole thing? Purpose and intent of this ordinance is to amend the city code to provide for a change in mayor and city council salaries effective November 6, 2024. Salaries of mayor and council members, funding of compensation effective November 6th. The salaries of the mayor and council member are fixed as provided in the section, which amounts are deemed reasonable. The monthly salary of the mayor is $530, and the monthly salary of each council member is $430. In addition to the salary provided in subsection A of this section, there shall be a $40 compensation paid to every member of the council in attendance at special meetings or public hearings called by the council, or commission meetings where the mayor or council member is the liaison, with no limit on number of meetings. So previously, for special meetings, we had $30. It went to $40 and no limit, so. Need a motion to approve that?
I move to approve the change in the compensation for the council.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
I have a question.
Okay.
So is this considered the first reading or the second reading?
We just adopted that, so I don't know technically
Right,
if you want to do that.
I don't know either, so.
Is this an ordinance change? Is it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Change.
So then, yeah,
Because that one won't become effective until you publish it.
well, there's Jordan. He unmuted his.
I just jump in, and that's what I was going to say. Once it's published, then that new ordinance would become effective. So at this point, it's not technically in effect yet.
So the one regarding the first and second readings?
Correct.
Okay, but does that have to come back for a second reading?
He just
No.
said no.
Okay.
Okay. Ms. Conway, I think I'm going to turn it over to you.
So we have we need to award a bid for roof repair claims, and this is for hail damage that took place on the 6 buildings, fire department, joint facilities, and 4 within the Parks and Rec. And they've gotten this, right?
They have those in front of them.
Okay, so we have 2 different bids, processes, one for the metal roof, and you have that in front of you. The first one is scratched because it's not complete, and so then the second one on there is the lowest bid from North Valley Construction, and that's in the amount of $581,000. And so the bids we received range from $581,000 to $112,007. So, yes, big range.
That insurance money.
So we should, and then we have the asphalt shingle bids, and that's, lowest bid is $118,707.78, up to $246,221.64. Speaking with the insurance adjuster from the league today, Mr. Otto has stated that if we don't accept the lowest bid, then the city is responsible for the balance of the bid that you wish to accept.
So they're telling us we accept the lowest bid.
Yeah.
What percentage is ours?
I'm sorry?
What percentage is ours, or are they taking care of the whole
30,000
building?
deducted.
Uh,
On the
30%.
On the shingle project, we have a deductible of $250, and on the shingle project, it's 30%.
You mean metal?
On the metal project, 30%.
30% on the metal.
Yes.
That's standard wide, whether it's residential or commercial, 30% on steel. My neighbor just had all his done. He had to shell 30% out of his pocket.
And then on the Public Works building, we would split that with the county, 5347.
And this is public. How much of this is the fire hall? Did you break them down at all or not?
Do you know, are they about the same size building? Okay.
Well, and it's got more detail to it too.
You have metal, don't you? Yeah.
They didn't separate the two.
It actually couldn't have come at a better time.
What is
We
this?
kind of slated to do that for a roof anyway, so.
What is this metal?
Is there
And you can't go
anything
back to
wrong with
that-
the shingle building?
I'm
Is there
sorry?
anything wrong with the shingle building? Using asphalt shingles versus metal roof?
We have 6 roofs that were damaged, 4 shingles at the community center, and then the metal roof at the fire hall and the metal roof at the Public Works building.
But metal roofs can be damaged by hail too. Why would we shell out all that money when we have a $250 deductible and we can get it replaced with shingles?
The metal roofs, you mean?
You're saying convert?
I'm just, do
I
asphalt
think you're going
shingles
to
or
do a
whatever
lot
they
of
are.
additional
Shingle,
construction work on the roof,
Right.
aren't you?
I don't know.
Because you got to have a foundation.
Well, yeah, I think the metal sticks with the metal and shingles stick with shingle.
If you have metal,
It's
is
fire
it
hall.
built for metal? I'm not
So are they gonna take everything off? Oh, they
Is there big prep if you go from a metal roof to a shingle roof?
There can be. Yeah,
Can be.
I mean, it
But-
might not have sheeting on it, right? We don't know.
The metal roof gotta be metal, because
Right.
there's furlongs on there and it's screwed to it. We couldn't put shingles on a metal roof.
I mean, without
Well,
substantial work.
Oh, they won't take it off. They won't take it off. Is that what you're saying? They won't take the metal off?
No, they're gonna take the metal off, but metal needs to go on metal.
But the base underneath would have to be all rebuilt to put
Oh,
shingles
okay.
on.
Right.
And then we would have to, if I understood Jerry
You
right.
have to have plywood underneath, and more rafters, and
Oh, okay,
you can't do that.
okay. Asking the question, just want to be diligent, you know.
So we need a motion to approve this?
Well, which one I understand we're approving low bid, but is there one bid for the shingle and one for the,
Yeah.
so there's 2 separate
Yes.
bids we're approving?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I understand.
So the first one should,
I'll do it.
Peyton?
I'll make a motion that we award the Titan companies for the amount of $118,707.78 for the shingle roof replacement project. And I'm going to add to that motion that we award the bid to North Valley Construction for the metal roof replacement project in the amount of $581,000.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, any other discussion on it? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Next, I would like to ask that a date be set for a special meeting to discuss and approve the ordinance changes and recommendations from our city attorney. I think we need to go back. Chip would like to bring that back to committee and discuss.
Okay, could
So
I
it's
go
the-
back to the previous one we were just talking about
Sure.
first, if I could, please?
Sure.
Okay, it's going to be about an $18,000 cost for the metal roof. Where's that 18,000 coming from?
It's going to be more than that. It's going to be 30%.
Well, I
of
said
five
30% of 581,000, that's roughly,
Do we have
huh?
It's $180,000.
Well, 174,000, no. Yeah, it could be, 174.
Something like that.
That's what I'm asking. Where is that money coming from? Whether it's 17 or 170?
I am not the treasurer.
Cheryl, do you feel a little hung out now?
that money come
177, okay.
So what is our portion?
177,000. That, huh? 174,000.
Is that going to come out of the relief?
That's what
Chip?
I'm trying to say. Where is this money coming from?
We're making you struggle, Aaron.
I know you are, Marcia, but
Okay,
I will survive.
we could take that 30,000 we budget in 2025 for building maintenance. We got to start.
That would drain
I
that
wanted to
pretty
do
When
quick.
I-
that before we started.
When I was working on the budget, one thing I noticed is that our city doesn't have a reserve for emergencies. That's something that we need to consider, and I've mentioned that before to different council members. At this point, not having a fund reserved for that, my suggestion unfortunately would be the telephone company. Do you have anything different that you would recommend, Cheryl?
Now you understand why I'm asking the question, okay?
And it wouldn't be the entire 174? Like I said, part of that would be 53% of the public works building the county would pay.
How much is the Public Works
We
building?
don't
then?
know offhand.
Oh, you
It's
don't
not broken down in here.
125,000 or something.
So it's going to be 100,000 or more. Let's just put it that way. Okay, I'll make a motion that the money be taken from the telephone company funds.
I'll second that.
Okay?
You know,
That's a
in the
big
event-
chunk to not say where it comes from.
Yeah, in
Thank
the
you.
event you
Thank
can't
you.
find it someplace else in the budget, you know, we're not done with that yet, but.
I
think you
will
are.
do my due
Okay,
diligence.
so we got a
and look.
motion and a second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, carries. Now,
Okay, no, it's fine. So I'm asking for a date to be set for a special meeting to review and discuss the short-term rental ordinance recommendations that the city attorney has provided. It's in your packet.
we probably need to do this sooner than later.
So does anybody have anything going on Friday?
Let's try Thursday.
You'll be gone?
Oh, I can't.
You'll be gone? Monday? The 21st?
I think I'm good.
I'm good. Marcia? Since it's your birthday, we'll let you pick the time.
You good with Monday, the 21st?
I'm good.
Yeah, that should be okay. The 21st should be
What
okay.
time?
I don't care.
Can we do it in the morning, because in the afternoon, or during lunch, this room will be taken,
Sure.
because we have our chili cook-off.
Keep it on the DL.
So 9 o'clock?
Sure.
Yeah, early in the morning.
I have to ask a question, though. That ordinance that you sent out to the city council, that was not with the attorney's recommendations. That's the current one that's on the, that's
No.
been provided. You sent us the attorney's recommendations and then the ordinance. Is the ordinance, that is not what the attorney provided, or is it?
That is what Joe sent me on Friday.
So that's got his recommendations in it?
Yes,
Oh,
Some
okay.
of them.
yeah. Well,
So will we have a final
at
for
least
Monday?
his.
Will we have an updated one for Monday with all of them in there?
That is.
That it was it?
That is, and then he had sent a few comments as well, but they're
Right.
within.
Okay, yeah.
They're within the ordinance noted.
Okay, so do we need a motion for that?
No. Well, before you go to motion, Last Monday, we left our P and Z people sitting with a lot of question marks on what they're supposed to be doing with the old ordinance on pole barns and stuff. I know we're looking at doing something Marcia said she wanted it brought up.
Yeah, under planning and zoning, I think we'll talk about that, if you don't
Well,
mind.
this is a setting a council meeting. I want want us to provide some actual direction to Paul and to the commissioners, that they actually sit down and look at the ordinance that we currently have, and what do we need to fix on it to get in compliance with what we did Monday.
Do you want to add that to the meeting?
Yes. All I want to do is add that discussion to the meeting with a potential vote.
Okay. Okay, we'll get that added.
So what time are we doing this on Monday?
9 o'clock.
And that's Monday, the 21st, correct?
Make a motion.
You're good?
Motion.
It's Monday.
You're good?
I'll make a motion that we call for a special meeting on October 21st at 9 a.m. for the purpose of the short-term rental ordinance discussion.
And,
P and Z.
and,
Discuss it tonight?
No, we need to have discussion on giving them direction as to what to do with it, because we screwed that up once. Let's not do it twice.
I thought we could do it tonight.
If you want to try it later, fine, but I still would like it to see it said on there, so we
I'll
will be
amend my
discussing it.
motion to include the planning and zoning, direction to the planning and zoning on what they need to do. But I don't know what they need.
I was going to say, what more? do
Monday
we
would be
need?
better. That way, planning and zoning can come to the table with more information. We sat down with the attorney on Thursday to go through what you guys recommended on Monday, and me and Gerald drafted an ordinance today on something to present to you guys. So Monday would be better.
Okay, so it's a planning and zoning, discussion on planning and zoning and what they need to provide to the city council in the future.
Is the city attorney available to attend that meeting and give us input on the short-term rental?
Jordan?
Yeah, from what I can see, Joe would be available on
Okay.
Monday.
We would like his input on the short-term rental part of that. So if he could zoom in maybe at 9?
Yep, I'll follow up with him here and
Okay,
confirm following the meeting today.
awesome, thanks.
Okay, so we still need a motion, don't we?
I'll second that motion. Marcia made her amendment. I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
okay, the last one I have is a request from Sandra Payne. Lots in question are those lots of 1 through 4 of Parkview Lane off of Daggett Pine Road. Lot 1 has a duplex-type dwelling on it and is assessed as a primary lot. Lot 2 has a duplex-type dwelling on it and assessed as a secondary lot. And lots 3 and 4 have a duplex-type dwelling on it that bridges over the 2 parcels. Her concern is the zoning. If something happened to the dwellings, how rebuilding would look. Paul from Planning and Zoning and the administrator stated that on a non-riparian lot in the Shoreland District, a duplex lot would need a lot size of 60,000 square feet with a minimum lot width of 265 and a buildable area of 40,000 square feet. So if they were vacant lots, these would not be permitted today to today's standards without a variance. The owner would be allowed to rebuild as is if the buildings were destroyed, being that they are a legal non-conforming structure. So then, if Lot 1 can be rebuilt and Lot 2 be rebuilt, then the assessed value on Lot 1 primary would stand at the $2,000 and Lot 2 a secondary lot for $1,000. However, it is requested by her that Lots 3 and 4 can only be rebuilt as a combined lot. Therefore, the request from her is for $1,000 for the combined lot rather than $1,000 for each lot. And I could ask Phil if he has anything in addition to share on this.
She is one that wrote an appeal, or
She did.
she wrote her letter, because you read it that night of the assessment.
I don't remember.
So she's one that early on, but she was opposed off altogether, but she asked us to look at it, and we determined that since the zoning change, she still benefits, but not to the degree we thought. So what you've described is exactly the case. We'd like to reduce it by 1,000.
But technically, she has got 6 driveways that access the road. I mean, you could look at it another way too, right?
Yeah, but we didn't look at it that way. We looked at it on a parcel basis.
When that development was put in, it was put in specifically, maybe you remember parts of this, Dave, I think you were on the planning commission then.
When that development was put in?
Yep.
That was when was it?
Isn't that the one was down across from the Presbyterian Church?
No.
No, it's a
No,
different
this is before you, almost across from Egret, almost across from Egret Road. It's in that area.
Yeah.
Right after
Yeah,
60.
I want to say lots 1 and 2 went in like the 80s.
Yeah, so
And then lots 3 and 4 went in, I think, in 2002.
what she claimed was that her dad built the first and second duplexes, and when they built it, they were allowed to be on individual lots. She built the third duplex across lot 3 and 4 because she couldn't, the zoning had changed. She couldn't build on just one lot.
So she didn't join it at their separate lots? She didn't
She
go to
didn't
the county and
consolidate them.
ask them
No,
to?
No,
But
she just
even-
built across
But
them.
if she did, then you would consider that one parcel? If she would go to
Yes.
the county?
If she combined it, it would be one parcel, because as Paul said, the only thing, and that was what really the trigger was to us, because can a house be put back on there? Yeah, so even though the zoning has changed, in perpetuity,
She
a
can
building could be
replace it.
on there. So there is a benefit from the road.
So just bring it down to 4,000 instead of 5.
Correct.
And she wrote early on, so she's not,
She wrote, I recall that she wrote one of the things now, again, I think
Yes.
she was opposed in general to everything, so it wasn't pinpoint like this. Her original claim is she felt that because she had 3 duplexes, she should be assessed as a townhome at $500 apiece. And we said, no, the opinion appraisal that was done, the Evergreen and the Carefree Cottages are clearly condo. They're parcels within a larger space. These were duplexes on a lot.
Well, I probably shouldn't say anything, because I was never in favor of secondary being assessed, so, but I do have a comment about this. I'm thinking if you're gonna allow that 3 and 4 to be one parcel and charge 1,000, I have a problem with parcel 1 being charged a primary, because they're not off of Daggett, they're off of
right,
Park
I was
Lane.
gonna question that too. Their driveways don't come off.
So I would reduce it down, and if everybody's willing to go with combining the 3 and 4, I'd like to see parcel 1 be 1,000, because it's not a primary, it's a secondary. Technically, it's not off Daggett Pine, it's off Park Lane, or Park View Lane, I'm sorry. So I would like the council to consider that parcel 1 should be $1,000.
Do we have any others that are gonna be that way?
How did you go 2 on that, Phil?
What's that?
No, because you're not doing every
On the
secondary.
primary, because
You're
it-
picking and
Because it's
choosing.
adjacent to Daggett Pine
But the driveway doesn't come off of it.
today. Yeah, today.
Okay, then the next time we do Daggett Pine, we'll hit them then.
That was our rationale. It could go that way with the driveway. It was,
Well, I agree, but I think each one of the 4 parcels should pay $1,000. $4,000.
4,000 either way.
Yeah.
It would be 4,000 anyway you look at it, if you do decide to.
Oh, you think that those two might be divided someday? We can't go,
You
we can't
can't.
see the
You-
future.
Listen,
If we can
What do you
assume
got?
that the driveway is gonna be going onto Daga Pine Road
what,
someday,
what
we
we're,
can certainly
what
assume
we're
there's two.
saying,
We're not assuming that.
you can't turn the third and fourth parcel into individual lots
Oh,
to put a place on there. Do you understand that? You can only put
They're
back a
less than
structure.
40,000?
You can only put back a structure that will bridge the two.
Are those lots not 40,000 feet? They're not.
No, not for a duplex, you need 60,000 square feet.
No, but if it's,
well,
So the
if it's
point
a
is-
home,
somebody tears the duplexes down, build two individual houses 40 years from
Yeah,
now.
they are not 40,000 square
They're
feet.
not.
No.
They're, each of those is about 21,000 square feet.
Okay.
That's
She
what
need-
our point is you
she
can
needs to
only
go
get
to the
back.
county, get it joined.
She can only get back 3 structures. Whoever owns that, if they own those 4 lots, they can only get 3 structures in the city of Cross Lake unless something changes.
Okay, so what's the proposal here? To lower it to 4,000?
Yes.
All right, go
Well,
ahead.
she
make a
wanted
motion.
3.
No, she wants 4, Marcia. She's currently 5, she wants it to 4.
She'd love 0 if you want to be generous.
And the 2 empty lots there, there's no assessment
Got
at all on them.
3,000 on here.
Bill.
Can read.
Those two,
Empty lots, no assessment at all on them.
Well, actually, we did assess them, but
Oh,
they
you
didn't
did?
appeal or say anything.
Okay.
so they
But
paid
I'll
1,000
make a
each.
motion, we assess her at $4,000.
Didn't you just make a motion, sorry?
Huh?
Was that a motion?
Yes.
Second.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
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 Just kind of curious, those 2 vacant lots there, if they came in for a permit, they could build a house on those lots?
No. They could build 1 house on both lots,
But they paid $1,000 each.
because it's still only 40,000, too. They're unbuildable.
If you were to tear down that building, you'd be starting with new lots, which don't meet current ordinance for minimum lot size.
Well, no, we were talking about the vacant lots. Yeah. Okay.
Moving right along, public safety. Tony, hey, you're up. Sergeant Marks.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Jake is out of town, so I have the honor of being here in front of you tonight.
All right.
I'll just read an email he sent me that he prepared. Only thing we have on the agenda is asking Officer Roder gets off his probation. So Jake sent me this. Hunter has been with us since January 29th of this year. He has proven that he is a good officer with a good work ethic and willing to do what is asked of him. Hunter had an injury at the end of his field training period that required surgery, and he ended up being out for 16 weeks. While he was out, Hunter did light duty assignments in the office and did a great job. After he came back to active duty, we extended his probationary period 1 month since he missed a lot of patrol days while recovering. Since then, he has gotten right back into the swing of things and is doing a great job. I request that the council remove Hunter from his probationary status. Thanks.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to remove Hunter from his probationary status.
Second.
Any other discussion on it? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Tony. Park and Rec? Planning and zoning? Sorry, Paul.
Good evening. I just got one agenda item tonight, and it's, we met on Monday, September 30th, and you guys approved our ordinance changes, and we did not make it. It's about 30 pages that need to be published, which is going to be a couple $1,000s. And so if we were to publish everything that was approved, and so tonight we're just asking for the approval to publish a summary of the ordinance 393 in the official newspaper instead of all 30 pages that would take up. Yes, and the page that would get posted
F2A.
is on F2A.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that's what it was.
Okay, I have a question. What about October 7th? We made changes to the zoning ordinance. Why not include those in this summary?
We didn't make changes to the ordinance on October 7th. The motion was to, I don't have it in front of me.
I think it was pretty clear that we wanted to add to the land use table and that those 3 additions were going to be zoned for
Well, yes, but
personal storage.
The motion was, it stated the notion that we were going to work towards those things.
I don't think it was to work towards it. I think we did
It was because we can't, our city attorney made a change during the motion to make sure it was stated as the notion to work towards those changes because we didn't, until it is put in front of you guys, we didn't want to promise to anybody anything until it was actually voted on, because things may change from October 7th when we met to after the first and second reading. It's going to be December, January by the time the amendment actually gets put in front of you.
So we don't have the October 7th minutes.
I just did those today, so
but,
it's really fresh in my mind.
So was there a motion?
There was a motion, and Joe Langle did suggested that the wording be changed
But
to.
how can you suggest when we made a motion?
It wasn't voted on yet, so Sandy changed her motion. And it was
Well, I guess I don't recall that.
that the city pursue changing the zone, or adding a zoning map amendment or whatever. But the word pursue was in there.
We would be adding to the land use table and changing the zoning map.
Yeah, because, I mean, the proper procedure, it needs to go in front of the planning, any land, land use, land map amendment.
Table was not mentioned.
Yeah, it was not
Well-
proper, it wasn't posted, and then the proper procedure is to go in front of the planning commission, and then now first reading in front of you guys and second reading. So we didn't want to promise the community anything by making a motion on Monday when there was still a process that needs to go through.
But you can't undo a motion. That's what I'm just saying. Like,
It was,
It wasn't done.
the motion wasn't done.
I watched the video. It's on YouTube. Sandy did change her motion.
We still have to do something with this. We can't just,
he's saying we can't do anything. It's got to go through planning and zoning and then come back to us.
He just wants to publish.
Yes, I'm just looking
is
for the
just
summary,
I
to
know.
publish the
Oh,
summary
I
of
see.
the
You want
ordinance.
a motion?
I'll make a motion that we publish the summary from September 30th.
Okay, I'll second that. We're not going.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
And then I guess just a quick review, just so you guys are aware, and I kind of stated it before, but Cheryl and I sat down with the attorney on Thursday after our Monday meeting for the motion that was made and the recommendations that you made to city staff. We sat down with Joe and Jordan on Thursday, and then we came up with a new, at least preliminary ordinance that we made up today that's going to get brought to you on Monday, but it'll need to go to the planning commission after that. So just so you guys are aware, you'll see something new in front of you on Monday at the special council meeting.
And that'll be considered a first reading. It'll change the land use tables and the zoning map.
We'll have to, well, no, the first step will be to bring it in front of the planning commission to see their thoughts and if they want to make a recommendation to send it to you.
Well, there was a lot of discussion, but not.
I agree.
That's regarding all the CUPs and all that fun stuff, right?
No, that's mostly for the commercial developments and, yeah, there's 4 commercial developments that you guys voted on and how to proceed with those, yes.
Okay.
Will the planning and zoning know this is how we feel?
Well, I think 3 of them were there.
they'll be told.
Were they? Okay.
Okay. They'll be informed of it. One of them sitting here listening to us. Okay.
Okay?
Is this where we're adding the moratorium thing? Planning and zoning? My addition?
Discussion? Yeah,
Uh,
take off.
Well, I just think that, I think everybody was hopeful that we were going to take care of that. And I guess I kind of thought we had taken care of the storage shed issue, but apparently not. So I just wonder, are we going to keep that moratorium in place, or are we going to allow people to build storage sheds? Because once you have this summary in the paper, then the corridor, what do you call that? The barrier?
The corridor overlay district.
That'll all be in place.
Correct.
And the windbreak, not the windbreaks, the
Screening.
screening, yeah, the screening will be in place. So it should not be a big deal. And if we have the first reading of the ordinance that you're going to provide us Monday, and then we're going to have a second reading and adoption, it should not be a big thing to lift the moratorium, right?
No, I think the only reason that it hasn't been taken off is there are still, I mean, we've been still working through discussions on how to handle the commercial developments. And it's only been 2 weeks since we voted the land use amendments. And so we just wanted to make sure everything was buttoned up before we lifted that moratorium. Obviously, that comes down to, you know, what you guys want. As of right now, based on what was approved September 30th, the moratorium isn't affecting a whole lot of people. It's more so for the community, knowing that we're still working through some of the ordinance changes yet. But I don't think whether we take it off or whether we keep it on makes a big difference at this point.
Well, I'll make a motion that we lift the moratorium on the storage sheds.
I'll second that.
Okay, any other discussion on it? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? For whatever it's worth, the moratorium is off. Okay. Okay, is that it?
All right. Item 3A, in front of you, you have a request to redesign our library logo. I got together with the library coordinator and some volunteers, and we thought it would be a good idea to redesign what we currently have that was originally created back in '06, I believe. We'd like to use funds from what we revenue from our library book sales. It's in our fund balance. I think we're right around $68,000 in that account. This is for better branding, when we send out things for volunteerism, projects, so on and so forth. What we currently have is just kind of hard to read, and the file is just really old, so just a rebrand.
You don't have any design concept.
I'm kicking myself right now. I thought I had it on my laptop, but I couldn't find it. So if you want to wait until next month to see the logo, there's not a major rush. It's just, I'm sorry I did not prepare it for you.
Well, what you're asking for is a motion of up to $750 to redesign it. It
Right.
still has got to come for approval or something?
Right, that's my request.
Yeah. So,
I'll make a motion that we give the library up to $750 to help redesign their logo.
I'll second that.
Question. What does the current logo look like?
That's what I'm kicking myself. I wish I had the file in front of me. I thought I had it on my computer, but it's not there. So if it's something, I can send it out tomorrow, first thing when I get in.
There's like a river coming out of a book.
Yeah, it kind of separates the word cross lake, and it kind of cuts it off to where the S is.
is the new design going to have anything with canoe paddles or anything on it?
We're
Maybe
trying to
a loon.
incorporate things that we have in Cross Lake, but just make it a little bit more visible and recognizable.
Okay.
I trust that they'll do a good job on the library logo redesign.
Amen.
All right, have at it.
We have to vote.
Didn't we? I thought we did. Motion and a second?
Yeah, they did it down there.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Item 3B is just something pretty standard. We do it every year. It's our Kichigami Regional Library Service contract. Nothing has changed since last year, so I'd make a recommendation that we approve it for 2025.
I'll make a motion that we continue with the Kichigami Book Service.
I'll second it.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Carries all in favor.
All right, item 3C, pretty awesome news. Thank you, Chip, first of all, for making it aware to me that there was some funding in Sourcewell to go after replacing my 1575 mower and our zero turn. We were awarded $50,000 to replace those two mowers and some equipment. And in using our funding in our fund balance that we have, we would be able to take that out of this year's fund balance, and it would cut approximately $65,000 in 2025 budget.
Would cut it?
Well, we would remove it from 2025.
And then you got the surplus that you could sell?
Correct.
I mean, you'll sell it, and
We would trade it into John Deere.
that's
So
all
the
built in the numbers?
65,000 is after the trade-in? So the
No.
trade-in would lower that 65.
Correct. It would increase the fund, yeah, it would increase our fund balance. It would just get put back into what we're dipping, or we're pulling from this year.
I was just trying to follow where the money was coming and going.
Did we transfer that fund balance over to the roofs at the fire hall?
No. So we're taking 65,000 out of the budget.
You better make that motion, that's you.
Is that what we're doing?
Well, 50,000.
Park and
Is it
Rec
50?
Director?
Yes.
Okay.
It would be 50,000. I was accounting for the 12.5 that we were also,
I'm looking here, it says $14,756.53. And I agree, make a motion, we purchase using the grant money and then some fund balance.
Come on, Marcia.
I'll second that.
All right, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carries.
next one we have is a letter from Jay Andolshek, hopefully I said that right. It is for credit card processing equipment. Our current equipment only can take, when you stripe your credit card, and not all stripes work. We don't have the ability to take chips or tap or Apple Pay, so on and so forth. And it also goes down periodically, so we can't accept any payment via credit card at the community center during the busy times of the year. Shars had some issues with our current system. These new systems wouldn't cost the city any extra money. It would just make it more efficient and easier for the customers to use their credit cards.
Fantastic. I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion that we authorize council members and the city clerk to sign applications with the electronic payments for credit card services at City Hall and the community center, and future application for website customer payments.
Second.
So how does Jay make money on this? Does he get part of that 4% to charge?
Yes.
It's 4%.
Yes, he gets it.
He has to pay for all the equipment,
Right.
so after that, it's,
He gets the 4%.
He gets the 4%.
No?
I think it's like 2%.
That's 4.
Right. A very
Maybe
small
1%.
percentage.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
I just have one more update. We're working on the Trails Master Plan. Obviously, we've got that SS4A grant of $200,000+. That is more for the development of our plan. There's some opportunities out there to work on getting grants for the implementation of those trails. One of them possibly being the HSIP grant, and that's the Highway Safety Improvement Program. I'm working with Mike O'Connell and Phil Martin and some other folks on that. We don't really have anything to propose tonight, but I just want to let you know we're going to do our homework, and we'll have something to show you in November.
Perfect.
Great.
That's all I got. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Okay, Public Works.
Hi, Phil, did you want to talk about the first few?
back into my computer. So the first item I have is related to the Melinda Shores Bridge repair. So we got that work done the third week of September. And we want to make a partial payment to the contractor for the work in the amount of $74,261.50. So the total project cost is about $80,000. They have all the work done. They have the seeding done and the turf filter, erosion control down, but the grass isn't growing. So we've paid them partially for the turf, and then we hold out 5% retainage in the contract. So we're looking for approval to make them a partial payment.
And the payment is $74,000.
$74,261.50.
So is that payment in full less the 5%?
Plus part of the turf establishment.
Plus some turf, okay.
I'll make a motion that we, pay- what's the contractor's name?
It's ACM Limited.
ACM $74,261.50 for the Melinda Bridge repairs.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries.
I should note that we probably won't make a final payment till next year when turf is fully established.
Can I also share with the council that we levied $30,000 for this Melinda Shores Bridge, and the balance was coming out of assigned balance. So $30,000 could come out of the general fund, but the balance, the rest of it should come out of the bridge assigned balance fund. And if you want me to make a motion on that effect,
Go ahead.
I will.
Do it.
I'll make a motion that $30,000 of the payment to ACM comes out of the general fund, and the balance comes out of the bridge assigned balance fund.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
How does it feel to win?
So number B on here, but it might be out of order in your packet, is the recommendation from Public Works to hire Nagel and Associates to get an opinion of market benefit done for the year 2 improvements. We brought that up and discussed that at the Public Works meeting. We had, and the question is basically raised, in January of 2024, we had Nagel and Associates do an opinion of market benefit for Daggett Pine Road. They came up with those ranges. Now we are doing year 2, and we're doing a lot of areas not too far from City Hall, and then over on Sunrise Island, down by Pioneer and Swan. Did we want to keep the one from January 2024 or just hire Nagel and Associates to do a new one for year 2? We paid Nagel and Associates, I think, about $1,700 for this past one.
So
We
those are mill and overlay?
Those are mill and
What you're
overlays
talking
as
about?
well, yes.
Do you think that there's going to be much difference between last year, or this year and next year? The market, I want to get this right, it's not an appraisal, it's a
Correct.
market value benefit. Do you think there's going to be a difference that we should spend the money? Or should we wait till year 3 and then do it?
I don't know. That's why I kind of raised it to the Public Works. I think 2 lines of thought. We can go back to, we'll be doing this public hearing for assessment probably in August or September of 2025. So that'll be 18 months old by the time we do it. Because we do it at the end of the project. So someone could argue it's old.
So when do they do it this year? They do it in April, or did they do it last fall?
We did our public hearing for Daggett Pine in,
No, Nagel, or whatever
oh, they
their
did it
name
in
is.
January of 2024.
Oh, okay.
We hired them in December, and they got it done right at the beginning of the year.
And do you have Nagel's price to do this next
No, I
one?
don't. I don't.
Is it gonna be
I suspect
That's what-
it's less than $3,000. We pay, that's why I brought up on this Daggett Pine Road, it was about $1,800. We don't have to make a decision on this tonight. I could ask them for a quote and bring it back to you.
Why don't you do that? We'll
This
get a
just
quote.
came up at our discussion on Monday night with or last Monday with the Public Works, whether we want to roll with
I
what we
think we
have.
should, I think we should do it, but I think we should get a price from.
I can ask them. I'll be able to bring at your next
Okay.
meeting.
I'll make a motion that we table it until we get a quote from Nagel and Associates.
Second.
Aaron seconds it. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Do you want me to take this one too? Okay. All right. So this one is just, I think it's information and a recommendation to play nice with Crow Wing County. So they're going to be doing a pavement rehabilitation of CSA 103, which goes along the south side of Cross. And they're just, the Public Works is recognizing that the group that Mike O'Connell leads that does the trail development, we want the county to work with them on getting that trail considered. Did we want to ask them too about all the way? Asking the county if they would do more?
To West Shore Drive?
Well,
I can't remember.
both things were, first we were just talking about going to
Perkins.
South Bay, and then it was brought up to go to West Shore to connect with that trail.
Yeah.
And I think you've got a memo in front of you with whatever.
Yeah. A motion made by Dave Schrupp, seconded by Tim Berg, to recommend to the city council to pursue with Crow Wing County Highway Department connecting the trails between Happy Landing and West Shore Drive.
I would like to pursue the West Shore Drive
And I
myself.
think our discussion was, we know that the county is working on this, and can we partner? Now, from another discussion that we had that TJ and I were in with Tim Bray and related to those HSIPS dollars, just understand that the way the county, and you've lived this in the city, the way the county views trails in the city is they're not paying a dime initially or for any maintenance. So just know that it's an opportunity to work with them, same type of equipment, but there would be a cost to the city, and you'd certainly want to try and get an idea of budgeting that I know is important, so.
It just makes sense to tie it in with West Shore Drive. So
I'll make a motion that we pursue with Crow Wing County Highway Department connecting the trails between Happy Landing and West Shore Drive.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Can we discuss, is that, that's not included in the whole trail system that this is not included in there,
No,
in their plan?
right, they're just
Okay.
planning to do the pavement, and
Okay.
we're
All
gonna
right.
try and talk to them about what's happening in the city, and can we work together,
Yeah.
and what that cost would be, and whether you wanna go forward with
I
that.
just don't want to step on any toes, because
Yeah.
if they
I
got
think
grant
there's-
money and they're
there's-
going to do the trails,
It's
we
an
want 'em to do
idea
it.
that hasn't been flushed at all, because I don't know what the terrain's like, I don't know if there's enough right-of-way to put a trail and not get in somebody's yard or down to a lake or
Okay,
something,
all
but
right.
we can ask a question.
Yeah.
Will
All
you
right.
ask
Thank you.
county, or do you?
Sure,
want
I will
us
ask, I'll just email Tim and,
Okay.
or Jordan actually, and say this were some of the comments.
Sweet.
This is yours.
Or do you want to just skip down and do F and then you're done?
Oh, I could do F, yeah.
I know this is for rehab on the road, but what we're basically trying to do is get the county to look at a possible trail while they're reviewing the construction plans, even though this is just a chip seal or whatever it is. And I was here when they did 103 the last time, and we approached Dwayne Blank on trying to get wider shoulders, kind of like what happened where our trail on West Shore ended at Ideal. And then we were able to get Ideal to at least put in a wider shoulder to get it down to 103. At that point, Dwayne Blank said, the best I can do is give you a 3-foot shoulder on both sides. If we do any more than that, we're into trying to acquire right of way. So basically, what we're trying to do is make them think ahead that, okay, they're gonna be reviewing, surveying, whatever they're gonna do next year on 103, but have it in their minds that, you know, we wanna connect those trails, so keep that in your mind while you're.
But you want to separate the trails from the road, don't you?
In a perfect world, yes, whether, you know, it'd be the county having to acquire additional right-of-way or easements or whatever to do that, but, you know, that's the preferred way to do it.
Yeah.
Get it off there.
Yeah. Well, I think to get in early is good.
I made one about the Nagel thing. And yeah, we can get a quote on it, but the rationale for Public Works making that motion was, when you get to the improvement hearings and the assessment hearings and you're sending information out to people, you've got a professional that's given you the range of what the benefit is. And you saw what the assessment hearing was like this year. And we talked about, you know, doing it for this second year and then seeing if they come in basically the same, you know, then maybe we wouldn't have to do it for year 3, but we were thinking we should do it for year 2. I was gonna say something else.
Doesn't the percentage of the job, though, doesn't it have?
And I guess
nice
that's
to
the
have
other
that
thing,
support.
you know, if it costs us $3,000 on a $1 million project, for you people that have to sit there at an assessment hearing,
Right.
you've got some cover saying a professional appraiser gave us this range and we chose the middle or the lower, whatever in that range. So part of it was we
I
were
think
trying
we
to
should-
protect the city.
Didn't we take the low range?
Yeah,
So even if we used this year's and took mid-range, we'd be right in the ballpark with the low range that they would do. So I'm thinking that
Yeah,
we
but
might be
we'd
better off the third year program.
I think we should do it each time we do it.
Oh, well,
My opinion.
yeah.
I'd like to just get a quote. I mean, I can get a quote and in November, you make a decision. If you say go, Nagel has the rest of November and December to do the work, get it to us in January. If you don't like the price, we don't have to do it, but
Yeah, we should.
I just,
Right.
we have time to get a quote, I think. I think you should do it every year, or at least this one, but I'm no problem getting you a quote.
Okay.
I'm going to do 4F, which is the final pay application for the Class 66 sanitary sewer extension. So the 2-year period is up on that? Yeah, Pat told me to skip and then sit down. Pat was overtopping you, you know. So this, we had a 2-year warranty on this for the rain gardens and stuff, the plants. We worked through that with the contractor, had the last walkthrough. They replaced the plants in the log church rain garden, and then we had them pull weeds at the fire hall. And so we're ready to close this project out. The remaining amount is essentially the retainage, which was down to 1% of the project. We do have the deduct in there of $6,000 that we agreed to with them. So we're recommending a final payment of $30,133.62 to Casper. And then additionally reminding the city that from this point forward, maintenance, you know, will be up to the city. And that in the past, Melissa Barrick has offered to the city, because they want those things to continue to be sustained and vital, that they were offering to pay 50% of hiring someone independent to come in and continue to do that with the city, so.
Phil, I got a question on this, though. On that project, there was a couple concrete concerns,
Correct.
and they have never been resolved?
The concrete concerns?
Yeah.
Oh,
Scott Moss's driveway?
right. So we, Pat and I did actually go look at that. We took pictures of that, and we believe that that is not related to poor workmanship. We believe that's related to salt. It shows up at the pan of Scott's area, and it shows up also down the road at the neighbor to the south, and I forget his name.
Lee Fisher.
Lee Fisher. So we're not, the contractor is gonna say that it's clearly from salt, because that's where salt accumulates. Now, the claim that Scott made was that, that the driveways were poured, or portions of the driveway were poured in the rain, but the damaged area actually was not poured in the rain. The one that shows the
Well,
potholes.
I think that the fault showed up before we ever got into a salt season. I mean, I remember hearing complaints about the concrete there before we got into winter. So I don't know if I agree
We
with that
didn't hear any
assessment.
complaints until you mentioned it at Public Works, which was about last Public Works, month and a half ago. You brought it to our attention because Pat and I went out and looked at it.
Well,
And then talked to Scott because he was standing out in the front.
I don't know if I agree with that, but I can't defend anything other than that.
But we didn't hear about it. I mean, the concrete was done two
I've
years
talked
ago
to Tim
from this
about
month.
that a couple times too. So I don't know. I mean, I don't, why would the salt affect just those areas and not the rest
Because
of
they're in
it?
the gutter, because they're down low on the trail, where people are using the trail, so they're grinding it in, and a lot of it's actually down in the gutter.
I think the tops of some of the curbs are showing it, popping.
We saw where the snow plows hit on them, but not the popping up from there.
Well, we're paying the final now, and
Yes. Yep.
I just asked Tim, I think, just a month ago to look at them again, and I didn't hear anything back from him.
Tim who?
Bray,
Oh, I didn't hear anything from Tim.
yeah.
Pat and I went and looked at it after you made comments. What did you see, Pat?
It definitely looked like it was salt that did all the damage on there to us. Because if you look where the driveway is, it's all pitted, but if you go off to the left or the right, the pitting kind of stops. So it kind of leads us to believe it was more salt than anything.
But the driveway was poured at a separate time than the curbs were. I don't know.
I guess they should have came to the city council on that. I'm sorry.
I wish
They should have
I will
came to
look and see
council
what we have for photos for when it was immediately done, but
Yeah.
until you brought it up at Public Works, and I don't think you brought it up at this last one, but I think you brought it up at the one prior to that.
I think I brought it up a couple different times.
Then we went there and looked.
Well, we can't, it's 2 years into it.
No, but this is the
What were you going to
final.
approve?
Make the motion, Marcia.
I'll make a motion to approve application number 8 and pay Casper Construction $30,133.62.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Phil, before you go, on the current job that we're doing right here, the south approach at the Holiday gas station, and I don't know what involvement you have on that, but the boulevard comes into the approach by about 3 feet. Have you noticed that? Where the plantings are?
Okay.
So when you're going southbound and you're gonna turn into the approach, if you stay on your side of the road and just hug it, you're gonna be hitting that boulevard about 3 feet into it where the plantings are. And I told Tim to look at that too last week, and he texted and said he agrees and he'll look into it. But I think we should look at that.
So the planting boulevard, people are driving over it?
Well, it comes into the approach area, and
I saw that too.
yeah, if you look at it, you'll see it, it's right there. The finger just comes in too far.
Yeah, I'll have to look at that.
Yeah, look
I
at
don't
that,
notice
Tim
it.
agreed, but I just think, I mean, it's probably not the end of the world, but it definitely looks like a mistake.
So do you think that the plantings are too far, or they made
Or
the approach too
is in
wide?
the wrong place or something, I don't know.
Okay, I'll look at it and talk with the
But
county.
look at it and see, because
Okay.
we're getting down to the end of it.
I honestly, when I came in here from, when I drove up here from my son's football game in Piers, that's the first time I've come up south since they did a lot of the paving and stuff like that. And I didn't notice
you're
it, other
heading
than
south,
stuff hasn't grown.
Turn into that approach,
Okay,
because when you're coming with it, it's kind of goes by you. You don't see it as much.
so
as when
come
you're-
from the north and look at it.
And look, just turn in the southerly approach into Holiday. Right by Common Goods there, kind of.
Turn in and go to the coffee shop
Yeah.
and hit it.
Yeah.
Okay,
And you'll see it. It comes in.
okay, I'll look at it.
Phil, the no parking signs on Pioneer Drive, can they go away?
I don't
We
know why
authorize them to
not.
go out there, but there's no detour through there or anything anymore.
Right, I mean, what's left is the wear course paving, right?
Not there.
No, I mean, what's left on 66 is the wear course paving from what I drove in.
But the
I'm overstepping my bounds to say it. I don't know what the county has planned, but it seems to me like you're kind of in wrap-up.
Yeah,
So
you
it could-
answered my question.
Could be
Thank you.
pulled down, but.
Yeah. It just looks like it,
That's a city
time for
road
them to
too.
go
I mean,
away.
the city, we authorize that to be.
Right,
put out.
I don't know if I get updates from Steve, and I just know we're in the last 2 weeks of the project, so I
He mentioned
probably can
signs.
be.
He mentioned signs, but I don't know.
I don't know.
I'll send Steve
I
a
don't know
note
either.
and I'll ask him myself. How's that?
All right, then we're gonna talk about the damaged sewer line.
Oh, boy.
As you guys, I emailed you guys about the guy that was repairing the hole, got his plug stuck in there. Well, it's still in there. I don't know how the sewer's flowing through it, but the guys have been monitoring it every day, and I've been doing it the night shift on it to keep tabs on it so it doesn't back up. They're coming in tomorrow to de-water it, and then we're gonna dig it and fix it on Wednesday.
How
The
deep is it?
dewatering is $4,500.
How deep is that line?
12 feet down, so at least 2 to 3 feet underwater.
Now, does that really fall on us since we didn't have it on the Go for One, or?
It falls on us because we were not part of Go for One.
How is that
Say,
possible?
who does that go
Nobody, it
back?
never got done through the years.
20 years, and nobody thought that we should have had a locate within that 20 years?
No.
Did you confirm that on the ticket, that they did not list the city of
City of
Cross?
Cross Lake was never registered with them. So I got the paperwork and
Wow.
it's sent in to them to get us registered so we get it.
And they got
Yeah.
a grounding rod 12 feet in the ground?
Yeah.
Holy
But the
hell.
whole thing is, if we've been online for 20 years, there's not one person that asked the question in Public Works that, how come we never get a locate?
Think of how many things,
mean, we've been
think
lucky
of how
as
much
hell.
digging's been done and no one's ever located something in the ground.
Well, I'm sure Crow Wing Power did, and the cable
No, but that's what
company-
I'm saying, is, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of
Just-
digging that's gone on,
Yeah.
and the city would have never been notified, but for
For sewer.
staff going by, we got a a main there.
So did you give that to Go for One now? Just going
Yes,
forward?
it's all,
Okay.
it's
So
all
you'll be
emailed
notified.
in. I'm gonna check with them tomorrow to see if they got it all and got it taken care of. But it also comes with a cost of $1.35 a ticket.
Yeah.
That they email us, but
That-
it's just a cheap cost to
That's a given, that's a
be on
given.
top of it, so.
Right.
Unbelievable. I gotta see it. Unbelievable.
But the original, one of the first bids I asked for dewatering was $20,000 and Anderson's Brothers is gonna do it for $4,500,
Nice.
so.
So it's gonna end up, we're gonna dewater for 4,500, and then we have this other What's the sewer repair estimate of 6465?
That was for them to come in and fix it, and they're the ones that are gonna end up paying for all
Oh,
the
the ones
damages
that
now.
got stuck in there?
Yeah. They're gonna
They
be paying
still think
'cause-
they're gonna get paid?
No,
Oh,
I was gonna say.
no,
okay.
they
because
gotta
it
pay
says-
for us to dig it up and get it all fixed, since their stuff is stuck in there.
I got another question. I have another question. Do you call Gopher State One Call when you're digging?
All the time,
Oh, thank God.
all the
Okay.
time.
It's a real shitty situation.
Pat, do you need a motion to authorize you to spend that money and then hopefully get it back?
Well,
Yes, let's have a motion for that, so
well,
we,
how are we
I
getting it
want to
back?
hear hopefully get it back in the motion.
How do you plan on getting it back?
Put it in the motion.
well, we're gonna bill
Well, that
them
doesn't
for
mean
it.
anything.
Just kidding.
We'll
I'm
bill
just
in the
kidding.
contractor that got the plug stuck in there. He'll be getting billed for all of it.
We'll put it in. I authorize, I make
And
a
our, and
motion.
our extra labor that we got in, because the guys, like I say, every day, Saturday and Sunday, they've checked it 2-3 times, and I go out a couple times at night. 'Cause I don't like sleep.
Okay, I make a motion that we authorize up to $6,500 to be spent to repair that main, and then that the contractor be billed back, or go for whoever it is.
It'll be the
Be billed back
contractor.
so that we get reimbursement.
Well, Aaron, you understand that Gopher State is not responsible.
Well, whoever is, that'll be power, growing power, whoever.
Can we set it up to, let's say, just 10,000 and shoot for the 65? Because we gotta put some labor and stuff in there on top of it.
Yes.
Put a cap of 10.
I'll change that to 10,000.
All right.
I'll second that motion.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the last one is to require Simonson Lumber to connect up to the city sewer. They've postponed 2 years now, Shar? 2
Well-
years?
Weren't we gonna throw a water main reader on there for time being until they hooked in? Or did I read somewhere in an email today?
But
That was discussed, I know,
Right.
at one time, but you should just get,
That was a motion that Public Works made, they'd be required to hook up, and that
I thought
Public Works put a meter on their well, and that they would begin billing them the monthly fee, even though they're not hooked up.
Right.
But they agreed in the letter that they would start paying January 1st anyway,
Of last,
didn't they?
of this year.
Even if they're not hooked up, they'd still pay it.
Right,
And
So-
that's in the ordinance.
right.
That's what they said in the letter. Or maybe I dreamt that one up, I don't know.
Apparently, we're both dreaming.
No, their letter says
That
that
they
they
will.
would like more time to connect.
Yes, but they would start paying as of
Right.
January 1st.
Well, we would like them to start paying right now then.
Yeah. Pat,
I don't care.
why
if they
would
start
they,
paying, but they're willing to
why
pay.
would they get charged a second time to hook up when they build a new building?
They do not they do not owe a connection fee. They just need to hook up.
But I got a
Oh, so it's
question.
their,
Tom, do
their
you want to
cost.
come up?
I got you, okay.
I gotta just question why we gotta, they just bought, a new company just bought the lumberyard. Well, the other guy owned it for a long time. And this guy, they are actively doing plans for the construction of the new project. Currently, they have 2 toilets and a kitchen sink in there that they rinse the coffee pot on. They don't use water.
Yeah, so if they're willing to pay that
They're
monthly.
gonna pay the monthly bill, why wouldn't we give them another year
Right.
instead of, I don't know what it's gonna cost them to hook up, and then they're gonna have to trash that to re-hook up to the new design.
Is that our problem, or should that have been in the purchase agreement? That, you know, they signed an agreement with the city that they would hook up within 2 years. The 2 years has come and gone, and if they sold the business, it should have been in their purchase agreement that there's an outstanding issue that they have to, that property has to be hooked up. And it's not hooked up, and that's where the commission came down and said, if we make an exception here, we're gonna have everyone coming in saying, can I?
But then you compound it with putting a water meter on it?
Well,
Is
the
that-
water meter is part of the ordinance that it's a commercial establishment, so we meter the wells on the, I don't know why they would ever go over 8,000 gallons, but that's in the ordinance.
Probably
If
don't
it's
go over 1,000
Yeah,
gallons.
but it's a commercial operation, so it's metered. And then if they did go over 8,000, they'd get two charges in that month. They probably won't, but we were just following the ordinance to,
Pays for the meter install. Is that the
we
city?
have the meters, don't we?
We have the meters, but they pay to have them hooked up.
Okay.
So they're gonna do that for a year, and then they're gonna take everything out and redo it. It just seems foolish to me on somebody who doesn't use water, virtually.
I believe this is the third owner since the sewer went in.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, sure, I don't
It
think
is
so.
not the original owner.
Oh, okay.
It is not the original owner. I know that for sure.
Well, no, it's not. It's a new company.
No,
This guy
this
is,
Kodiak,
that's a new company that just bought it from.
no, someone else bought it in between there.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we put a water meter in and start charging them the monthly fee. They don't have to pay a connection fee anyway, because that was a part of the deal, wasn't it? Wasn't it part of the deal that
Their
we took
connection
this, we
fee
got the
is
storm
taken care
pond?
of.
Yeah.
So are we going to make them connect?
I know, but if they're going to build something this year and we're getting the monthly fee, what difference does it make? Really, what difference does it make? I don't know.
No, well,
We don't know who the owners were, we don't know, you don't even know if they're gonna order or bill.
But we're going to start billing them.
Yeah, and that's the way the ordinance reads.
Yeah, we're going to start billing them. We're going to put a water meter on and start billing them.
There's a letter
Doesn't that
dated
take
here
care of it?
September 30th, Dave, from this company. You guys didn't see it?
That's what Shar brought.
It came the day of their meeting.
Okay.
And
so
I
you
brought it
didn't see
into their meeting at the end of their meeting.
Okay.
We're not losing, I don't think we're losing out if we put a water meter here and start charging them.
Well, let me, as long as you didn't, let me just take a second and read this letter, as long as you didn't see it. We recently received a letter requiring us to connect to the property located at 37568 County Road 66 to the municipal sewer. As a response, we are requesting a one-year extension of this request based on our plans for future development. We are planning to construct a new building on the site, which will require us to connect to the municipal sewer. To prevent the cost of paying for a sewer connection this year and another connection next year, we are requesting a one-year extension. If the city decides to grant us the request, we will agree to begin paying monthly sewer fee this year. Now granted, they have to whether they agree to or not. I don't disagree with that. But
There is no sewer connection charge.
Right.
They're talking about paying a connection charge now and another one next year when they build. Their connection fee has already been taken.
no, but they're probably referring to the cost of digging up and actually doing the hookup.
Yeah.
So they gotta do it this year and then they gotta trash that because
They're
the
new
new
owners, let's be
building
nice.
is gonna be not the way it is now. Come on up. Yeah, come on up.
So think about what's happened here. So when did we do the sewer?
Who are you?
I'm Dave Schrupp. So I guess the question I have is, who's watching all of the commitments that these residents made to hook up to the sewer because their system was
Right.
over 10 years, 5 years, 15? Are we up to date on everybody's hooked up like they agreed to?
Well, I don't know.
Because
Are
this
they?
has gone multiple years. And
Yeah.
how did they get by not having it hooked up in the first year if they were required in the first year?
Well, did they ask for an extension last time too?
But their
Yeah.
agreements
The
signed or
first
anything?
year, they were supposed to hook up, they asked for an extension because they planned on doing a remodel.
They were rebuilt, they had a site plan and everything.
So we gave them that extension.
All right. So we do have a process where people are looking at.
Oh, yeah.
The staff's looking
Yeah, I
at it.
think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's all I
And
wanted to
people
know.
who are not hooking up are getting letters and are getting told that they're going to get charged. Well, they're already getting charged the no hookup fee, and if they still aren't connected, they're getting charged double this next year. And they've been told
But
that.
my thought about this is, I mean, it would be really good for the city to have a new lumberyard there in the spirit of getting along and encouraging them to do so. Are we gonna stick them with an extra bill that really is,
And we gave it,
Where does it stop for,
Well, but Tom, it's gonna cost them probably 10 grand to hook up to the sewer.
you don't think they can't put the sewer line in and then,
Build around
it.
from a different angle into that sewer line once they're?
I don't know where they're building, I don't know what they're doing, so I don't know, but.
but the whole thing is that we're gonna start billing them anyway, so we're not out anything.
The fee.
Yeah, they're gonna pay the monthly fee.
Want to stick a meter in there to make sure they don't use over 8,000 gallons, that's,
That's fine, I mean,
I-
it's your decision.
I mean, I am very anxious to see a new yard there. That's been there for 80 years. It'll be good for the city to do it, and in the spirit of cooperation and getting along, do we want to greet them to town that way? I don't know. I don't know. I didn't hear the whole motion, Marcia. I think you quit at the end of it.
Start billing now and install
Install a meter, but how about the connection? Is the,
Nothing.
so,
Because we don't, that's not what they're asking. They're asking for another extension. Do you want me to put in there that we're gonna give them another year extension in that motion?
well, I want you to
Okay.
put in there what is your motion. It's just whether I vote on it.
Well, I don't really care. Okay, I'll make a motion that we,
She's going
I'll
on.
make a motion that we extend their connection time for 1 year, but we start billing install a water meter and start billing them as soon as the water meter's in there. And if we get the water meter in December, then we start billing them in December. If we don't, then we start in January 1st for sure, whether we have the water meter in or not.
How about if
Pressure's
you
on.
just set it, I was gonna say, start first of the month, start billing them for it.
I agree.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, and start billing them immediately,
Okay,
November 1st.
I'll second that motion, but when they receive it, I want them to understand that they will be connected up, doesn't matter to what building, September 30th, September of 2025.
And we could add
I
a
agree to that.
$2,000 penalty or something if they're not hooked
Well,
up.
they will be, or you can't shut them off, but. Wouldn't bother me to shut them off.
I don't know if we can, but we could say if they're not hooked up in a year. You're not
You go do it. We'll watch.
Okay, so we don't want to add anything about a fine or something if they don't connect in the next year?
No.
No? Okay, we got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries, all in favor.
Is that it for you, Pat? Mr. Mayor?
Personnel Committee, oh, Lori, yeah, you're going to do it. I was thinking you weren't here.
He's gone. So at the last special meeting, we had recommended 2 people for the heavy equipment sewer operators, and one of those individuals declined the position. So we moved on, and we made a contingent offer based upon your decision here this evening to David Beckel at the step 4, with no 6-month probationary review like we did with the others. So because of his extensive experience.
Okay, at step 4, that means it is January 25, he would be at step 1 of the new pay scale. Is that
No,
right? No?
no.
He'd be at step 4.
Well, in January, he would have the cost of living increase, and then they're matched to the closest step. At their next review, then they would go up 1 step, so in 1 year.
So David Beckel is the guy who was interviewed, gave him the offer, he wanted more.
No, so David
trying to think of who
Beckel
he
was
was.
interviewed in our first round, and then we received more applications, and then we made an offer to 2 people.
Oh, okay, I got it, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so,
Everything came back good on the background check and the reference checking.
so you need a motion to hire.
Since
Yeah.
I wasn't on the personnel committee, I don't.
Well, I'll make a motion to hire him.
That's step 4.
That's step 4.
And that's not going to second, and now that's not going to interfere with our current employees?
No, it is not.
Okay.
Are we
Under
still
6
short
months?
one?
This will fulfill all of our hiring within the Public Works
So now we're
Department.
full.
And he'll still have 6-month probation, that's standard.
Yes, that is standard.
Okay, so we got a motion and a second to hire. Any other discussion?
It's probation, but no step after the probationary period is up. So he's gonna get his full pay, starting when he hires, and then he's just not gonna get a step after 6 months. Sorry.
Correct.
Yes.
I thought you said there was no probation period.
No step increase on the 6-month probation.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
The next was presented to the Personnel Committee, and we discussed it there with a recommendation to come to City Council. There was an employee recognition policy that was adopted back on December 9th, 2019. And there were a few things missing, I felt. I wanted to bring forward to the Personnel Committee. And under 3B being added, and we talk about employee recognition, but would like to add that on milestone increments of 5-year intervals, they will be recognized with a gift certificate for clothing apparel that's logoed and with their plaque. So at 5 years, it would be a $25 certificate, 10 years of $50, 15 years $100, and 20-plus years would be $150. Next, made a recommendation under 4A that the wording with a value up to $200 for a retirement gift. It says that we would provide a recognition of a token recognition, but I'm saying let's give a value up to $200 gift upon their retirement. And then under 5, when we talk about recognition programs and providing memorials or flowers under B, we talk about for the employee or the elected official, but I'm also adding employee or spouse/child of a city employee. And then finally, under 6, back in 2019, we approved expenditures for $2,500 annually. I'm asking that we increase that to $4,000.
Where's
Again,
that in
this-
the budget?
What?
Where's that in the budget?
I am going to create a budget line because when I was looking for the $2,500, I didn't see it specifically under budget, so my belief is that it was under miscellaneous. So now there will be a special budget line.
How much was under miscellaneous? The 25?
I believe so, under the departments of which an employee came from, or general for flowers for funerals, etc.
Lori, to support your recommendation, I will make a motion we approve what you just presented.
All the changes?
Second.
Any other discussion on it? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carries. Do you want me to take this one, Lori?
You are the chair of the personnel.
All right. We have to approve the city administrator's contract. So on September 12th, the Personnel Committee was in favor of recommending approval of to the council for the employment agreement with the city administrator, and the highlights, I'm going to buzz through them. Moving and relocation not to exceed $2,000 expense, 6-month probationary period step increase with successful performance review, placing city administrator on the wage scale adopted by MINP and prepared by Susan Hanson, currently in between 2 steps of step 5 and step 6. Will be provided, same COLA? COL, is that COLA? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
As MINP, of 3.5% increase effective January 1. Provide a 6-month probationary period, step to step 7 on February 5th of 25. Another one is 2026 step increase to step 8, 1 step each year until top step is reached. Next one, sick leave was carried over from other letter. Offer letter. Vacation was carried over from offer letter. Personal days was carried over from offer letter. Termination, 45-day advance notice. Termination pay if terminated, or employee leaves due to an unsafe, unhealthy, or hostile environment, 6-month severance of wage and benefits. So this is all pretty much what we agreed to coming in the door, right?
This is, no, I was asked by a council member to, because I waived my rights to join MINP, okay?
Yep.
And so that I could provide negotiation skills in lieu of joining MINP union, that I should have a contract of employment. So I went into the League of Minnesota Cities and I drafted from their format and just filled in the blanks and then presented it to the Personnel Committee, which then I left the room, so I don't know what you guys said, but.
I'm not telling.
But then I was asked to put it on the agenda for approval.
Okay, good.
I have one problem with it, Dave. I've never seen the salary range, steps, anything. Have you, Jackson?
I have not.
Have you, Marcia?
I think it was in the MINP negotiations for all the department heads, but
I don't recall seeing that.
it would have been in the salary range there on that
Well, but
pay
I'd like
plan.
to see it before I
There's a
vote
pay-
on it.
Well, the whole thing is that I don't want the highlights, I want the contract. I don't want to approve the contract unless I see the full contract.
Right.
These are the highlights. We should have the full contract in front of us.
Right. And I guess I question the termination pay, because that's kind of all in the eye of the beholder, and we can see what just happened in Breezy. Who knows what the heck an unsafe, unhealthy, or hostile work environment is, because it's all in the eye of the beholder. So I guess I just question that.
You can send it back to Personnel Committee.
But before
No,
we
I think the whole
approve it,
council, because you work for the whole council, I think the whole council should.
but we got to see the contract before we approve it. The personnel can recommend approval, but I don't want highlights of the contract. I want the contract.
Yeah, so, I mean, that should be pretty available, shouldn't it? Yeah. Okay, so. The special council meeting that's coming up.
Yeah, I'm fine with it going to the Monday's meeting,
Yeah.
right? 21st.
Okay. City Attorney, Jordan, you have anything for us?
Good evening. I was just going to follow up and let you know that I'll reach out to Joe about his availability for Monday. And I'll get back to you to make sure that's good to go.
Okay.
That's all.
I have something for Jordan. At the meeting, well, it was last week, and Mr. Langel said that we couldn't take any action at a workshop. Now, is that a law, or is that something we have to have in our ordinance referencing how we handle workshops?
Look into that for you. You said that was a comment Joe made?
He interjected into the meeting and said, you cannot take action at a workshop. So what I'm wondering is that something that the city has to take care of through ordinance or council rules? Or is it an actual Minnesota statute referencing workshops?
Yeah, off the top of my head, I don't have an answer, but I can pass that along and try to provide an answer for you.
And if it's not, then would we want to put it in our ordinance that workshops and how we're going to handle them, either there's no action taken and it's referred to the city council, or we never have another workshop ever and it's all special meetings? Makes no difference to me, but we should, when we were stopped by the city attorney saying you can't take action at a workshop, I think we need to clarify it.
But it was determined that that was a special meeting.
It was a special budget workshop. Whenever he interjected, it was a special budget workshop, or no.
That was for planning and zoning.
Yeah, that was planning and zoning. I'm going back to the budget it was the special budget workshop. And when he interjected at the planning and zoning thing, saying you cannot take action at a workshop, I'm just saying, we need to clarify it.
Right, going.
Yeah.
Going forward, I don't care about previously or how we did things, and we always did it that way. That doesn't work for me. What works for me is either we define workshop in our ordinance, we have regular meetings, we have special meetings, and then we should have workshops, and we should decide, are we going to allow the city council to take action at a workshop, or are we going to say you're only going to discuss it and you're going to refer it to a regular meeting of the city council? And generally, apparently, that's how.
Okay, Jordan,
Most
you understand
communities.
that question?
Yep, and I'll pass it along and we'll get a response to you guys. Provide some clarity moving forward.
Okay. Any new business?
And can we make sure that we take action on it at the next meeting, or at the next regular meeting or whatever, that we would put it on the agenda at the next meeting that we're gonna, yeah. I don't care when we do it, just that we need to put it on the agenda, otherwise it'll slide through. It'll
Lori and Char
Be
writing
forgotten.
diligently over there. Okay, no new business? Any old business?
Marcia?
No, I slid in.
Ooh, wow.
All right, go ahead, Jackson. Do your
Motion to adjourn.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.